All right, so now you should have your top 10 to 20 niches that you might like to do picked out. So now I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to research these niches. Before I do that, I'm just going to give you an example here of one thing that you can do, whether you're searching for just if you haven't really come up with a niche or you haven't really come up with a topic. Look at the homepage right now. So this is kind of, and one thing you can do is go into an incognito tab. So all you do is go to Google Chrome, or you can do this on most other browsers. And then what you do is you go to right here, these little dots, or up here, these little dots, and then you go to new incognito window. And so what that does is that basically is a fresh YouTube view. So that's without seeing any of your own preferences, without seeing your own cookie type of things, where it's the cookies are basically the data that tracks what you write down and stuff, so it knows what you're interested in. So if you open a new incognito tab, then you're going to open one where it's basically a fresh view of YouTube, where it can just give you random ideas that you yourself wouldn't have found on your normal YouTube with your cookies that you have, right? So like right here, water tower collapse compilation. Like, that's not one I would have thought of, right? You click on it, it's got ads on it, it's got 10 million views, okay? So, and later I'll show you exactly how much money that actually is on a video for 10 million views. But as you can see right here, it's just a compilation of water towers, okay? So you would have thought of that, right? So maybe you can do just different types of things collapsing, right? I wouldn't have thought of that, right? Right here, most expensive mistakes in all history. And so you can look at this video and get ideas. Emergency water discharges. I wouldn't have thought of that one. How about you? Tornadoes, 15 industrial machines. So, this is just a clean view where you can get ideas of things that are popular and things like that. And so another thing you can do is go into trending, and these will give you ideas of things that are, trending now, or channels that are trending now, things that are popular, things that people are currently interested in, things that people are currently viewing and watching, and all of those sort of things. So these can start giving you some ideas of niches and topics and things that you might want to do. So now regarding the actual keywords you wrote down. So say you wrote down gardening. Maybe you like gardening. So now you want to type that in here. And what you want to do is, first of all, what we're doing is seeing, is there an actual market for this? Is there to get views and all those sort of things? So, and then, is there a market and an audience for it? So the first thing we want to do is go and hit filter, and then you want to go to channel, and then also filter by view count. So as you can see here, if we go into filter, it's highlighted channel and it's highlighted view count, okay? And so now we can look. So these are the top channels about gardening. So we can go right click, open new tab, and open all of these, and we can start studying what they're doing. We can see, like, is there any channels that are doing gardening compilations, right? Or are these all personal brand channels? Are they list channels? Are they combination channels, right? Can we find any that are, compilations maybe? So all those sort of things. And so then you can kind of dive in here and start seeing. And then this is what you want to do, is just open all the most popular channels. This is going to start giving you a really good idea. So now you can literally click on this. You can see, okay, what's his most recent video? As we can see, it's got ads on it. That's great. So then we can go and see what type of things he's doing. So as you can see, 10 easiest vegetables you can grow in the desert. So this guy's got a garden, it looks like, and he just sits out there or goes to gardens and then, talks about different knowledge that he has about gardens, which is probably what a lot of them in this niche are going to be. And so, yeah, same sort of thing here. Probably all of these are like that, but that's just this niche, right? But this gives you an idea of the sort of things that you can do for research, right? So we know, these channels have, millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, right? So we know that there is definitely a market for gardening videos, right? And so now what we can do to study even more is, first of all, look at what their most recent videos are. That might give you an idea of the things that are currently trending in a certain niche. So these are the sort of topics. So now this is getting into topic research, but kind of just topics that might be things that people are currently interested in or watching. Then what you can do to study a niche even more is then sort by most popular, and do that for all the channels. So you just go to sort by most popular. Now you're going to start getting an idea of what sorts of videos got, millions of views. So, so maybe aquaponics, is a really popular topic niche. Maybe how to make a compost the easy way is an interesting topic in this niche. How to build a cheap greenhouse, right? Those are top popular topics. Now we do that again with this channel right here. And then what you're going to do is start finding, the keywords that are popular, the topics inside a niche that are popular. Anyway, we know that this niche has now got a good amount of, support. A lot of people are interested in it, obviously. It gets a lot of views, so gardening, could potentially be a good niche, depending on what strategy you want to use. If you have a garden or you can talk about gardening, right, then, you might want to be doing a personal brand channel on it. But now what we want to know, we know that it's popular. We know that we can find tons of videos, right? And get ideas and things like that. And so also, now we know the topics that are most popular. So this is getting into topic research again, but you're going to start finding trends. Like some of the top popular videos are going to be the same for every channel. Like in golf, everyone wants to always know how to hit a driver, right? So that's always going to be a popular topic. So now we know that this channel gets tons of views. Now it depends on what sort. So if you wanted to do compilations or list channels, now we want to know with gardening, is that a possibility or not? So you can do something like gardening compilation. So if you wrote down gardening, but you personally want to do compilations or list channels, right? Now we're going to start getting an idea of, is that possible? Well, look at this one, garden harvesting compilation. Cool. So this is just a compilation of, gardening. I don't know if this is the same guy or not. That's something you're going to want to take a look at as well. But see, look, you can do list channels with gardening. 20 gardening hacks that will blow your mind. Guess what? That's a list channel, right? That's a list. And look at that. It's got, ads on it. So once again, now okay, it gets views. It's a niche that, definitely can, get a lot of views. And it is a niche where you can do personal branding with it. And you can also do compilations and list channels. So that's how you kind of research whatever you wrote down for your niches, is just go ahead and search that in the search bar. Okay, so now we go to filter, view count, and these are some of the biggest views. 28 million views, 27 gardening hacks you'll want to know. So that's a list. 12 indoor gardening hacks, rooting these 12 clever plants. So 15 million views, 11 million views, doing makeup with gardening tools. So that's more a makeup niche, right? 10 million views, 23 ideas. So a lot of list channels actually for gardening, and then a lot of personal channels as well. So that's kind of how you want to do your research to see, is there a market out there? And then from there, say there's one where you type it in, there's like barely any views. Now you want to kind of go up higher. So maybe you did 2 sub niche down, and now you want to kind of go up 1 step. And type in some keywords that might be a little more broad, but might still have something to do with your niche. So that's what you want to do if you wrote down whatever you wrote down in YouTube, and you can't find a whole lot of channels or stuff on it. Then you might have sub niche down too low, and you want to go out 1 up and then a little bit broader. Now you're going to start, uncovering tons of different keywords inside your niche. Then you can start looking at that stuff. So now as we go down here, we see easy way to grow tomato plant. Okay, so now you're like, oh, that's a keyword that might actually be popular that has to do with gardening. So grow tomato plant. So now you can type that in. Grow lots of tomatoes. How to grow tomatoes at home. How to grow tomatoes from seed fast. Right? So now you're getting keyword ideas, and so this is what you can do to see, what else is out there in that certain niche that you wrote down. Is, now you're getting these keywords from that niche that you typed in gardening, and then you got all these lists of keywords as you're scrolling down of certain things people are interested in within gardening. So then you can type every one of those in. Now you're starting to get these ideas of, what certain things are out there. So like this video right here that has 4.9 million views, by just typing in gardening, you wouldn't have even found this. But now you know that, okay, so say you typed in gardening and you barely found anything, right? Again, that doesn't mean that there isn't an interest out there. It means you need to find the keywords and the subjects and the topics inside of that niche, such as, you know, growing tomato plants, right, that you wouldn't have found otherwise. So that's what you need to do, is just continually type these things in. And again, what it has to do with your strategy as well. If you are going to do compilations and, you know, download and repost videos, then finding videos that have Creative Commons is going to be a factor for you. So when you're whittling yours down, if that's the method that you chose, then you're going to want to type in gardening, and then you're going to want to filter that by Creative Commons, okay? Then you're going to want to see, you know, which videos out, is there a lot of videos out there on gardening that are Creative Commons that I could actually reuse? So just so you know, Creative Commons means reuse allowed. So it means that they're waiving copyright and giving you the right to use these videos. So if you're going to be doing, like, you know, a list channel, or if you're going to be doing any copy repost type of you know, strategy, then this is going to be something you might want to factor in when you're whittling it down to this 3 to 5, is not just which one had the most views, but which one has a lot of Creative Commons videos that I can use. So again, type in your niche or the keywords surrounding your niche, filter it by Creative Commons, then you can start clicking on these, and then you can look down here and see it says license Creative Commons reuse allowed. Okay, so that means that you are allowed to reuse these videos. So those are what you're going to want to keep in mind too. So it looks like in this niche there are quite a few of, you know, different Creative Commons that you're allowed to reuse. One question I get often is, does it have to say this right here down here? And yes, it does. So I wouldn't use it if it doesn't actually say that in the description of that video. So just a side note there. But in general, that's something you want to keep in mind depending on your strategy. So again, this stuff's all going to depend on your strategy. So I'm giving you all these different strategies, different ways to go about it based on which ones you want to choose, which ones you're comfortable with, which ones you are, you know, think would work the best for you personally. From there, you know, so if you're doing personal branding, then just, you know, when you're doing this whittling down process, look at the ones that you think you could talk the best about, that have the most views, but look like, you know, maybe they don't have as much competition. Also ones that, you know, look like they have a lot of topics that you could talk about. All of those sort of things. If you're doing list channels, or you're doing, you know, especially copy reposting type of videos, then you're going to want to look at this right here. How many Creative Commons videos are there inside that niche, or keywords inside surrounding your niche as well. And then the last thing that I want to show you guys is Google Trends is another great thing you can do. So this can help you get ideas as well. So if you type in gardening in here, you're going to see the interest over time. So interest over time is it's a relative. So 100 is like the peak popularity. So as you see the peak over time, right? So right now, as it's getting close to spring, you know, then it's a little more popular. And so as you can see here, you can start getting ideas of, you know, which areas of the country are interested in gardening, what other things they type in, which could really help. This will go into topic research that we'll discuss later. But those are things that you can keep in mind as well. And this might give you some more keywords, and you can be like, you can do, okay, gardening tarp. So people might be interested in gardening tarp. So maybe that's a keyword I can look at, see what sorts of videos are out there and all those sort of things. Again, this kind of goes into topic research, which we'll talk about later. But so anyway, whittle down your ideas to 3 to 5 based on your strategy that you chose, right? Whether that's you're looking for Creative Commons videos, you're looking for a lot of topics, you're looking for, you know, a lot of views, things that people are going to actually be watching a lot, that have a lot of different keywords, maybe, you know, some keywords that you could make videos on or find videos on that you could rank for easier, that have less competition. So maybe there's a few videos that have tons of views, but then from there's some on the front page that have, you know, a couple hundred. Then you know, okay, if I do a good job of ranking this video, I can get to that one that has millions of views, right? So all those things you want to look at and take into account and do your research on right now and whittle that down to 3 to 5. Then I'm going to give you guys some more things to think about before you actually choose that niche.